Yoona and Lee Junho's surprise wedding and baby announcement shakes K-pop to its core. The world of Korean entertainment has always thrived on surprises, but few moments have managed to stop both fans and industry insiders in their tracks the way this one has. In early August 2025, without warning, without public engagement photos, and without any of the elaborate media build-up typically surrounding high-profile celebrity weddings, Yoona of Girls' Generation and actor-singer Lee Junho of 2PM tied the knot in a private ceremony. Within days, the real reason behind the whirlwind decision surfaced. Yoona is pregnant with the couple's first child. What began as whispers of an intimate wedding quickly transformed into one of the most talked-about headlines of the year, sparking shock, celebration, and deep admiration worldwide. The announcement was unexpected, to say the least. Fans had speculated about the possibility of romance between the two stars for years, especially given their undeniable chemistry during joint appearances, but few believed the relationship had advanced so far behind the scenes. Even fewer could have imagined that marriage and parenthood were already unfolding in real time. The wedding itself was held in secret at a secluded villa on Jeju Island, a setting chosen not for grandeur but for intimacy. Surrounded by blooming hydrangeas and the gentle crash of waves, the couple exchanged vows in front of a select group of loved ones. The guest list was minimal: immediate family members, longtime managers who had been with them since their early careers, and a handful of childhood friends. Absent were the usual throngs of paparazzi, industry colleagues, and corporate sponsors. In their place was a quiet, almost sacred atmosphere that reflected Yoona and Junho's desire to keep the focus solely on their bond. Those who were lucky enough to witness the ceremony described it as ethereal. Yoona, radiant in a simple ivory dress, allowed a glimpse of her growing baby bump, a detail that had been carefully hidden from the public until then. As she walked down the petal-strewn aisle, Junho was visibly overcome with emotion. Tears welled in his eyes, betraying both his nerves and his overwhelming joy. Guests recalled that his voice cracked as he began his vows, and when the couple finally locked eyes, the rest of the world seemed to fall away. Their vows were brief but deeply personal. Junho promised unwavering devotion, calling Yoona his home, heart, and forever. Yoona, equally moved, acknowledged the duality of their lives as performers and as private individuals. "The world knows us as idols, as actors, as people living in stories that are scripted," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "But off camera, away from the spotlight, you became my reality. Not as a co-star, not as an image, but as the man I choose every day." Her words left few dry eyes in the room, and when they sealed their promises with a kiss, the moment felt destined to be remembered not just as a wedding, but as a cultural milestone. Though the ceremony itself was private, word inevitably spread, and fans across the globe were stunned. Within hours of the news breaking, hashtags such as #YoonaJunhoBaby, #K-pop Royal Wedding, and #YoonaPregnant were trending worldwide. Social media feeds overflowed with congratulatory messages, fan art, and video tributes. Many long-term supporters expressed disbelief at the suddenness of the wedding, but their shock quickly gave way to joy as the pregnancy announcement was confirmed. For fans who had followed Yoona since her teenage years in Girls' Generation and Junho since his rise with 2PM, seeing their idols embark on this new journey together felt like watching old friends step into a brighter chapter of life. Industry peers were equally vocal in their support. Tion, Yoona's Girls' Generation bandmate and closest confidant, posted a heartfelt message accompanied by a tearful video, saying, "You've always had the biggest heart. Now someone gets to live inside it." Junho's fellow 2PM member Nichkhun chose humor and subtlety, uploading a picture of tiny baby shoes with the caption, "Uncle is ready." Behind the scenes, many veteran actors and singers reportedly reached out privately to send blessings, underscoring the respect both Yoona and Junho have earned in the entertainment community. In hindsight, some fans began piecing together the signs. Yoona had recently scaled back her workload, declining a high-profile drama project that was slated to begin filming in the summer. Junho, meanwhile, had been spotted at a well-known women's clinic in Seoul weeks earlier, though his agency had denied speculation at the time. What once seemed like unfounded gossip now fit neatly into the narrative of a couple preparing, quietly and courageously, for a new chapter in life. The decision to wed suddenly, rather than wait for the grand wedding initially planned for next spring, has been widely interpreted as an act of love and authenticity. According to a close friend, they didn't see the pregnancy as an accident or something to hide. They saw it as a blessing. They wanted to honor that blessing by becoming a family right away, on their own terms. For a Korean entertainment industry often criticized for its obsession with maintaining pristine public images, the move felt revolutionary. Rather than adhering to the industry's unspoken rules of secrecy and denial, Yoona and Junho embraced transparency. Their statement, released after the ceremony, was brief but powerful. "We are thrilled to announce that we have entered a new chapter of our lives together. With gratitude and love in our hearts, we begin this journey as husband and wife, and soon as parents. We thank you for your support and understanding as we embrace this precious moment in our lives." The message struck a chord with fans worldwide, who praised the couple's courage and sincerity. In an industry where relationships are often hidden until scandal forces them into the open, Yoona and Junho's openness felt refreshing. By refusing to let fear dictate their choices, they became role models not just for their fans, but for their peers as well. In the days following the announcement, spontaneous fan events popped up across Korea and beyond. Cafes displayed congratulatory posters, fan clubs organized gatherings where supporters baked cupcakes decorated with baby-themed designs, and countless videos flooded YouTube celebrating the couple's love story. The outpouring of joy transcended language and geography, uniting fans from Seoul to Los Angeles, Tokyo to Paris. Behind the glamour of public attention, however, the couple has retreated into quietude. According to insiders, Yoona and Junho are currently residing in a countryside estate owned by a friend of Junho's family, far from the flashing cameras of Seoul. There, surrounded by nature, they have found peace. Friends say their days are filled with ordinary but meaningful activities. Cooking meals together, painting, writing letters to their unborn child, and taking long walks in the fresh air. One close acquaintance revealed that Yoona told her, "This is the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Not because of the headlines, not because of the wedding, but because of the baby growing inside me and the man who sings to my belly every night before we sleep." The imagery is poignant, and it reinforces what has become clear. For Yoona and Junho, this is not about spectacle or fame. It is about carving out a sacred space where love and family can flourish despite the pressures of their public lives. The world may be watching, but they are choosing to live this chapter privately, on their own terms. As the weeks progress, fans eagerly await further updates, whether about the baby's gender, due date, or even a name. Yet, sources close to the couple emphasize that they are in no rush to share every detail. "They've given so much of themselves to the public already," one insider explained. "Right now, they just want to hold on to this joy for themselves a little longer." The restraint only adds to the reverence surrounding their story. What Yoona and Junho have created is not a scandal or a publicity stunt, but a rare example of authenticity in a world dominated by performance. Their love story, which once unfolded quietly behind the scenes, has now taken center stage, not because of controversy, but because of courage. Looking back, it is easy to see why fans describe this as a real-life K-drama. All the elements are there: the secret romance, the sudden twist, the tearful wedding, and the revelation of new life. But unlike scripted dramas, this story carries even greater weight because it is true. It is not written by producers or polished by publicists. It is lived, raw and unfiltered, by two people who chose each other against all odds. As Yoona and Junho step into their new roles as husband and wife, and soon as mother and father, the entertainment world watches with admiration. Their story is already being hailed as a defining moment in K-pop history, not only for its emotional impact but for its broader significance. By prioritizing honesty and love over image and control, they have set a new precedent. This chapter of their lives will undoubtedly bring challenges. Parenthood is never easy, and the added weight of fame only amplifies those difficulties. Yet, if the resilience they have already demonstrated is any indication, Yoona and Junho are prepared to face them together. Their journey is not just a headline, it is a legacy in the making. For fans, the takeaway is simple yet profound. This is not the end of a drama, but the beginning of something infinitely more beautiful. In the words of one fan on Twitter, "This isn't scripted. This is real." And that makes it the greatest love story of all.